Taranto. What happened that day remained in everyone's memory. When Rieke woke up the next morning and shuffled into the kitchen to see her parents, her father said, "I've received an offer for a house. A colleague of mine is renting it out and asked if we'd like to view it today." Rieke was beside herself with excitement. They hadn't had a single viewing in almost 2 years. Apparently, it was a large house with 5 rooms. The price was also in a good range. Without even having breakfast first, they all set off. Rieke could hardly believe it. During the meditation she had done the previous day, the doctor had invited her to imagine her ideal potential. Moving house was something she really wanted. Let's see if this was the right one. The house was located in another village, and it took a bit longer to drive there. Eventually, they reached the address. "Ooh," said Rieke, uncertain. "Which one is it now?" Indeed, it was hard to tell. They were in a street built in typical Italian style. In front of them stood 2 adjoining houses. One was very large, with 2 stories, and looked quite elegant. The other, however, didn't look inhabitable at all. The paint was almost gone, and did it even have windows? It couldn't possibly be that one, could it? The family got out of the car. "Is your colleague around here somewhere?" asked Linnea. "Yes, he said he's waiting for us in the garage. He probably means this one," replied her father, and walked toward an open garage door that belonged to the dilapidated house. Indeed, the colleague greeted them there. After exchanging greets, the tour began. Apparently, this house didn't have a normal front door because he let them inside through a hallway from the garage. There they found an old, small door that looked as if it had been made from old tin cans. Rieke swallowed. It was almost pitch dark inside, and the strange thing was that the walls were neither plastered nor painted. It smelled like something that reminded her of an old basement. The man led them through a tunnel that apparently served as a hallway from which the individual rooms branched off. Beneath Rieke's shoes were rough stones, and in the dark corners of the rooms, moss was actually growing. "It needs a little repair work, but well," said the colleague cheerfully. "Count Dracula must have lived here once," her mother whispered to her. Rieke chuckled quietly. As they walked and looked at one room after another, at least as far as that was possible without light, the colleague explained that the house had no electricity and no water. In the tiny garden, there was an ancient well. "Well, that's exactly what I've always wanted," said Rieke with a grin. Linnea nudged her lightly in the side. Rieke imagined what it would feel like to go to the bathroom at night. The bathroom was far away and without light. How was one supposed to find it? Only a lantern or torch would help. Yes, that would light the long way. And what if the light went out by accident while walking? That was truly a spooky thought. A cold draft coming from a large crack in the ceiling swept through the dark hallway. It was simply eerie. "There must be rats living here too," Linnea murmured softly and shuddered. Compared to this place, their current house was a real luxury property. Rieke was suddenly even grateful for it. The last thing the colleague showed them was an ancient kitchen made of decaying wood. Even her father couldn't help but grin sarcastically. When they stood back in the daylight, the colleague brought up the price again. Kindly, he lowered the amount by 20%. Of course, this house was not an option for them, and her father managed to decline the offer politely. "I have another house, one village over. Would you like to take a look at that one too?" the colleague asked before Rieke and her family left. They declined politely, and her father said he had another appointment to view a different house and unfortunately no more time. That wasn't true, but it was a good way to get out of this amusing situation. In the car, everyone was quiet. Suddenly, Rieke started laughing loudly. She laughed and laughed until her parents finally joined in. "Well," murmured her father, "better nothing than that." It hadn't gone as they had imagined, but they had certainly been entertained. In fact, everyone was glad when they smelled the familiar scent of their own home again. Rieke wondered if she hadn't been precise enough about what she meant by a new home. Maybe she should once again visualize in another meditation exactly what her ideal home should look like. At least something has started moving, she thought. Even though it hadn't been the right one, it was still the first opportunity they had received in years. Luckily, it was a holiday today, so after a short tea break, Rieke could dive right into her meditation. A longer one was needed, that was clear. Rieke needed a bit more time to direct her attention inward. Comfortably, she snuggled into her blanket and off she went. She always had to laugh when the doctor drew out the words and sentences so long. Apparently, that was meant to make the listener's brainwaves rise. This time, Rieke was relaxed within just a few seconds. First, she followed the usual steps up to the point where one was supposed to let their mind go blank. That went quite well for her. But suddenly she felt a deep sadness rising within her. Her throat tightened, as did her chest. Feelings of homesickness and loss shot to the surface like from a volcano. Rieke was a bit startled and began to cry a little. This state lasted for several minutes before disappearing again, just as quickly as it had come. Rieke felt somewhat confused, but also much lighter, as if a knot had been untied. In the videos she had watched before, many people had described a similar state. As the meditation continued, beautiful images appeared before her eyes during the visualization. A bright bedroom filled with sunlight and cozy beds, a brand new kitchen in shabby chic style, a living room with furniture that was truly her own. And something else they had all wished for a long time, a washing machine. A deep feeling of joy rose within Rieke. Was this really within her reach, she wondered. She also saw that it wasn't a house, but an apartment on the upper floor, exactly the kind she had wished for. Rieke could feel the vibration of this apartment with her whole heart. This was her home, and it was meant for her. When the meditation ended, Rieke was glowing from head to toe. Could this really have been just a dream? Surely not. Some people had reported that it was possible in meditations to see one's future with a fulfilled wish already realized. Now it just had to come into her life. According to the doctor, that would happen if she could keep herself in a good mood. Gratitude was often recommended for that. She would try that now. She also decided not to take any other house or apartment unless it was better than the one in her vision. Lowering her standard was no longer an option for Rieke. She had to tell her mom right away. She definitely had to try it too.